Good morning, everybody. Thursday, winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. Finally, we can start getting longer days. I hate winter. I just cannot stand it. Oh yeah, it's December 21st, 2023. My name is Matt, and you can reach me at matt@dailycryptonews.net. Let's get into today's crypto news. On Wednesday, a computer scientist named Stephen Thaler lost his attempt to register patents for inventions he said were created by his AI system called Dabus. Thaler said Dabus autonomously created a light beacon and a container for food and drink, and it's entitled to rights over the inventions. The UK's Intellectual Property Office had previously denied the request, concluding that the inventor must be a human if it wanted to apply for patents. Well, that got escalated to the Supreme Court after the lower courts ruled the same thing, and the Supreme Court said an AI cannot be named as an inventor and or secure patent rights. Am I seeing the first step to a future AI uprising where we deny all rights to AI? And have you seen the Animatrix? And they just want to be in parliament and have a voice and have rights and be able to create and go to work, and humans just keep denying them, and then they uprise and enslave humans. Is this the first step? Also, can I go on a quick tangent that I really don't like this argument that authors and different artists on the internet are saying that AI can't be trained off their work. I just don't like it, and I haven't heard a good reason why that AI shouldn't be trained off of these works. Look, I have every right to read a book as a human. I can go purchase the book and read the book. If I find it online, I can read a book. If I find a chapter online, I can read it. And if I read that work of art, or if I look at that work of art, internalize it, really like that artist, I can start trying to mimic that artist. I used to play drums. I studied drums, and my favorite drummer was of Dave Matthews Band, Carter Beauford. And I would copy the way he drums. And this is what you do when you start to learn things. You copy the people who you look up to. And I set up my drums the same way. I try to play in his style. But the fact is that that's how you learn. So the idea that these authors want to get like a cut or get paid because an AI is learning or reading what they wrote just doesn't make sense to me. Now, if an AI copies and uses their works and basically expands their maybe universe or uses the names or the characters, then yeah, that's copyright infringement. But to learn from these artists, these people who are creating, it just doesn't make sense that you would restrict that. What do you think? Matt@dailycryptonews.net. I haven't heard a good reason that would sway me to say, yeah, stop AI from learning from these artists. Worldcoin is no longer offering its orb verification service in India, Brazil, and France, just months after the crypto startup expanded the helmet-shaped eyeball scan device to those markets. I'm assuming governments or regulators are cracking down on this process. However, this AI-written article, which most of them are these days, didn't mention that. Shame on you, TechCrunch, for not putting that in there. Worldcoin started the global rollout of its service in July of this year to help build a reliable solution for distinguishing humans from AI online and enabling global democratic processes and drastically increasing economic opportunities. Even though the orbs are no longer available in some markets, World App continues to onboard people in India. The organization also recently updated its protocol to World ID 2.0 to differentiate between bots and verified humans, and help developers build new integrations. It also announced integrations for World ID with Minecraft, Reddit, Telegram, Shopify, Mercado Libre, Discord, and Talent Protocol. Russia's digital ruble has been integrated into the nation's tax code after President Vladimir Putin signed it into law. Russia's been pushing for its digital ruble, or its CBDC, in part of a means to circumvent financial restrictions in the form of sanctions imposed on it for its actions in Ukraine. The new law will allow authorities to recover digital currency if the taxpayer does not have enough funds in their bank accounts. It also permits authorities to suspend transactions on their CBDC or the digital ruble accounts, and requires the platform operator provide documents to reflect funds have been written off from the taxpayer's account. Russia's central bank has previously said that citizens and businesses should be able to use their CBDC starting 2025. Now, here's another question for you. This is basically another country. You know, we've been talking about CBDCs here in the United States or in Canada or other Western countries. Everybody's saying, like, hey, this might be a slippery slope to some authoritarian shit. And of course, the governments and everybody like, no, don't worry about that. We have laws here. We have constitutions. We couldn't do that. But can't we just admit that if this is so blatant in other countries and that they're not even saying the quiet part out loud, that they're saying the loud part out loud and there's actually no quiet part, that this is already being discussed, that this implementation or these features within a CBDC will be implemented within the United States or Western countries despite having a constitution, and all they need to do is flick a switch and turn it on, or it would just be used and nobody would know until there's a whistleblower. What do you think? Again, email me if you have questions or comments, matt@dailycryptonews.net. British Island courts, they have frozen up to $1.1 billion worth of assets belonging to Sue Ju and Kyle Davies. They're the founders of 3 Arrows Capital. And they wanted to do this to prevent the two founders, Davies and Kyle. And they did this to prevent the two founders from dealing with their assets worldwide. They also want to make sure that they're held responsible for causing 3 Arrows Capital's position to deteriorate. And they want to make sure that they're on the hook for the equivalent of the value that was lost. And that's what the freezing orders are doing. 3 Arrows Capital liquidator Teneo is seeking to reclaim the $3.5 billion lost for creditors. Now, let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fear Greed is at 74. We are greedy. As we know, Cathie Wood is the CEO of ARK Invest, and ARK Invest has a couple ETFs. They have the ARK FinTech Innovation ETF, they have the ARK Innovation ETF, and they have the ARK Next Generation Internet ETF. And as we also know, she's been selling a hell of a lot of Coinbase and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares since November 21st. She's sold around $181 million worth of Coinbase shares and $61 million worth of Grayscale. And why? Well, it's very obvious. Because Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is now trading at $36 or so, up from $8.20 when it started the year. Coinbase started the year at around $33. It's now trading at around $167. So, yeah, you would probably sell too. But wait, why would you get rid of your fastest horse? That's what everybody's asking. Like, you know what? Play the winners, play the tunes, play your hits. This is your hit. This is obviously your hit. Well, she's selling it because her ETFs are weighted, and it's all about balance. She needs to create the right balance within her ETFs because this is what people are buying into. So ARK Investments, they adopt a targeted weighting for its ETFs that the individual composite holdings or weightings don't dip below 2% of the value of the fund or exceed 10%. And when Coinbase and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust goes up, the weight of those balances shift. And well, that's not what you bought. That's not the product that she's offering. So she has to unload this. She has to unload these stocks in order to create the right mix for the product that she's offering. I want to wag a finger at the media really quick because shame on them. This is something that they don't talk about enough. They just say Cathie Wood sells Coinbase. And people, I mean, even like me that do this every day, don't understand or didn't really make the connection that this is why she's selling it. And this happens a lot. And the media, wag of the finger again at them, is just telling you this with these, crazy headlines to basically make you click and create some kind of fear or some kind of FOMO or some kind of emotion without telling you the reasoning behind it, because now it just makes sense and it's logical. It isn't because, oh no, we've hit a high, I'm going to take profits and I don't like Coinbase. It's I just have to rebalance my ETF offering. Makes a lot more sense. Bitcoin is sitting at $44,185, up 1.2% in 24. Ethereum's at $2,253, up 0.4%. Tether's number 3, Binance is at $271, up 5.5%. And Solana is on a tear. Like I said, my take profits hit at $80, but it's at $86.61 right now, up 12.4%. I should have just released a take profit marker and put a stop loss on it, but I didn't. And now look at me. I am missing out on 12% gains. Running off the top 10, we have XRP, USDC, Cardano, Avalanche again on a tear at $45, up 5.7%, and Dogecoin is number 10. The total market cap is up 2.8% in 24, which is 1.66 trillion, a Bitcoin dominance of 52.1 and an ETH dominance of 16.4. And that was our show. We'll be back tomorrow with Asia Focus, and we have a double episode tomorrow because we are talking to XYO. And until then, happy hodling everyone.